How's it going, everyone? This is Coach Ethan with Auburn Jiu Jitsu here. Today I got my buddy Coach Chris. We're going to go over the up and over sweep from the guard position. So the first thing we got to do is get the hands off the hips. I'm going to start by lifting up, swimming underneath, and getting his hands right down here next to my hips. I don't want them too high, so I want them to be right down here next to my hips. After that, I'm going to grab his wrist, sit up to my elbow, make sure my guard is still locked. If I need to open my guard, I can, but I want to make sure my feet are pinched. But it's better to keep your feet crossed. So I'm grabbing his wrist, I'm up on my elbow. I'm going to isolate his arm by going right here on the back of his elbow, and I sit up nice and high. Right here, people struggle a lot, so you can scoot your butt out if you need to. Remember, keeping your knees pinched. I hug this arm in, lift my hips up and over, and now I've got my mount, and I can get him with some grapevines and Superman to solidify my mount. These are the most common mistakes of doing the up and over sweep from the guard position. So the first one is actually right at the beginning when I go to get his hands off my hips. If I get his hands way up here, too high, I'm not going to be able to sit up to do my sweep. So I want to make sure that when I scoop his hands off, they're down here lower next to my hips. The second mistake is when I sit up, my guard is super loose. So if I open my guard here and my knees are flared out, it's a loose guard and he's going to be able to pass and I'm going to lose this sweep. So I want to make sure my knees are pinched or I keep my feet locked up until when I go to unlock them, because this is a nice and tight guard. Another mistake is when I go to isolate this arm, either not getting it off the floor, which is when we lift up right here and it gets his hand off the ground so I can scoop it in, or when I do the actual sweep, letting go of it. So I want to make sure I keep close contact and have a good hold on this arm the whole time. The next mistake is that when I go to lift up and over to sweep him, instead of going up and to the arm, I go up and straight back, which can hurt my partner's knees, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep my partner safe. So let's make sure that when we're doing the up and over sweep, I go all the way through, and I get a good mount, keeping this arm ready to go.